program is brought to you by Pennzoil, America's #1 selling oil. Pennzoil, there are no limits. And the first of the 10 rounds starts in the delightful town of Potchefstroom with the Elgra Hotel Potchefstroom Water Festival. Now in its 4th year, it's the biggest sporting event in the Northwest Province. And despite the weather dished up every year, the crowds get bigger every year. It's becoming a cult event on the deceivingly calm-looking Potchefstroom Dam. We chatted to some of the pilots in the pits about the first Grand Prix of the season.
Look, it's going to be an interesting season because I think time trials yesterday probably has set the tone for what it is. There's probably 4 guys up the front, Mark, Patrick, myself and Ian, and then very close to us, I guess, are going to be the likes of Vernon Smith, Kevin Smith, Terry Moore and Renier Engelbrecht. I think that's really where it's going to happen.
I think my chances must be as good as anybody else's. If you look at the times with first 7 boats, there's maybe 1.5 seconds between the first 7 boats, so I think that's the wrong question to ask. You've got to wait and see.
Well, it's looking pretty good. We're less than a second of the pole time. The boat's going really well for the first time in a long time. We've got some decent sponsorship behind us now, and it's looking good.
And the start of the first heat with Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd on pole. And the way they go, the flag's away, they've got to keep their lanes. They're working with the way towards that first Mercury buoy. They've got to go around that buoy, sticking to their lanes, and it is Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd. But no, Patrick Lees, Iveco's Patrick Lees got a great start. Decided to hook that buoy very, very quickly. And it's Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd now under pressure. Now we pick up the boats, and it's Patrick Lees. Patrick Lees will get around that buoy first. It is Iveco's Patrick Lees, boat number 4, flying away. He gets around that buoy, the NGK, followed by Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, Lindenberg, and then Ian Mather, and the rest of the pack. There's Rion Becker in the Printflex boat. They're just trying to work their way through the other Pennzoil boat. Now the back mark is the Castrol, but it is Patrick Lees. Patrick Lees now from Peter Lindenberg. Then it is Mather on the inside of Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, and Mather gets the inside line, and he's got that inside line. He's got the drive up, he's following his teammate, and it is Iveco's Patrick Lees round the Mercury buoy. Lees now establishing a nice lead. You see he picks that boat up very, very quickly. That prop is just in the water. That plume of spray just comes out of that big horsepower motor. It's Lees now. Lindenberg there looking for a way around. Lindenberg going to start looking for some flat water. He wants to get that prop into flat water. They're up to the NGK buoy. It is Lees. Lees on an absolute flyer. Lindenberg now. And it's right behind him is his teammate Mather. But Iveco's Patrick Lees is just tearing away in this first heat. He's battling with a couple of injuries from a motorbike accident early on in the season last year. But now he's really putting it together. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd gets around the buoy. But he's got to make it up. It's his birthday today too. And he really wants to put it on the boys. But Iveco's Patrick Lees, he's showing no signs of injury. He just goes away. It is Lindenberg, followed by Mather, by Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, boat number 2, our birthday boy. He's trying hard, but he's really going to have to have his work cut out. We got the Megaloop boat there, Renier Engelbrecht, going very, very well. He gets around the lower pit buoy. On his way up, gets that boat set up, sets the trim and lets it go on a flyer. But watch this dice. There's the, and Rion Becker almost flips that boat. He jumps over the wake, and Roy Brennan from Fuchs has to take evasive action. And there we have Kevin Smith in the tribute to Princess Diana boat. Round the lower buoy, the pit buoy. Tries to get that boat up now. He's got to get that trim set up quickly. He's got to lift that nose. But watch this. This is Castrol's Terry Moore. Terry Moore trying to fight off, and there's Lees behind him with Lindenberg trying hard. SA's champion, Lindenberg, trying hard, and in the unsponsored boat, he's really got to get his work cut out here. He's got to get up to that boat of Patrick Lees, Iveco's Patrick Lees. We have a stall boat in the middle. I'm not sure who it is. We can't pick up the number, but someone is there in the middle. It's a little bit dangerous as we see Castrol's Terry Moore get round that lower buoy. Terry Moore now, we'll watch him get up that boat. He bricks it up and he lets it go. But here's the dice, Megaloops, Rion, it is Renier Engelbrecht now. And he's holding up Patrick Lees. Patrick Lees in the Iveco boat. He gets down the inside and he comes to take the checkered flag. Peter Lindenberg on an absolute flyer through that right-hander. He's got a wide line. He's trying to get through, but unfortunately can't get up to Ivico's Patrick Lees. There are results. Ivico's Pat Lees in first spot. Peter Lindenberg in the unsponsored boat. Mark Shepherd from Pennzoil. And we have BP's Vernon Smith in fourth spot. Some of the local talent braving the weather. We're ready to roll heat 2. Flags down. And the boat's going away. Someone's been left on the line. I'm not sure who it was, but we see Fuchs's Roy Brennan. He's up there. And just look at the aerial shot as they make their way now to that first buoy. Bearing in mind they must hold that lane all the way around that buoy. But it is, who's it on the inside? Lindenberg looking for a way. It is Ivico's. Ivico's Pat Lees. He's got the inside line. Lindenberg pushed to the outside. Watch these boats. They are on an absolute flyer. Look at the two of them as they get neck and neck. Lindenberg trying to stay out of the spray. They go down now on their way to the NGK boys. They hook that boat round. You see the wider lines, the back of the field coming through, and they get tight lines. Someone gets squeezed on the buoy, but a magnificent aerial shot. We see the Printflex boat there of Rion Becker. Now it is Ivico's, Pat Lees. Pat Lees now. Lindenberg in second spot, and he won't be happy with that. He doesn't believe in second spot. He wants to get it going. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, and Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd there being forced out a little bit. And we see Ian Mather in the RS Components boat. But look at our leader, Patrick Lees it is. He's got clear water. He's on a flyer. He hooks it round those boys. Peter Lindenberg takes a tighter line. He's now going to make his way through this S-bend. And Lindenberg is very, very quick through this right-hander. He really is very, very quick. Lindenberg on a flyer, looking to find out where can he find the mistake with Patrick Lees. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, third spot. Behind him we've got Vernon Smith, the local boy, the BP-sponsored Vernon Smith. But Lindenberg on an absolute, look at that boat, hardly touching the water. He's balancing that triangle, the motor just in the water. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, he's on a flyer, he's trying everything he can. Gets it round the lower buoy. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd. And further down is Vernon Smith, the BP man. But it is Ivico's Pat Lees now, under pressure. Pat Lees, he goes wide. He's been blocked. Lindenberg gets down the inside. Is Lindenberg. You see the boats almost touch. They had a very close coming together there. Lindenberg had to hook that boat away. He really had to hook it hard. And where's he going to go to now? Lindenberg inside. Is Lindenberg on the inside? He's got Patrick Lees. Lindenberg has taken him down the inside. But now he's going to have to find his way. He's got Renier Engelbrecht in front. And Renier's boat is very, very quick in the straight line. He's going to block him on that top buoy. He's going to block him and watch Patrick Lees. Patrick Lees has got the outside line. Who gets the inside line? It is Renier Engelbrecht. He gets through first, then Lindenberg. Lindenberg's now going to force his way past. Pat Lees is hovering on the outside, just waiting to see where there's a mistake. But Patrick Lees now in clear water, and I believe it is Lindenberg now that's starting to run away. Lindenberg has taken that lead, and he's just going to pull away from Patrick Lees. Patrick Lees unable to make impact, and maybe those injuries are starting to take its count. There we see our shot from the NOC helicopter. But look at our leader. There it is, Peter Lindenberg, in the unsponsored Peter Lindenberg, just showing the boys how it is done, and he will get that checkered flag to win the second heat. There are results. The unsponsored Peter Lindenberg, Ivico's Pat Lees in second spot, Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd taking third, and Ian Mather in the RS Components.
It was going pretty good until Renier, I think, was very unfair there. He just kept tight on the line there, which saw me and Peter coming where the main race was, and he wasn't racing against himself. He was, nobody in front of him. He couldn't catch nobody, and he just held it tight. Then he went wide, and I couldn't get past him. And then Peter dived on the inside, and he was lucky. He was the lucky one to get through. And after that, I just let Peter go because I'll wait for the third heat.
We're ready for the third heat. That's what the flags are down. The boats go away. They start, dead start. They push that button, and that motor should kick first time. They lift it out the water. We'll see what they do. There's a lot of chop. It's very choppy. The boat wants to move all over the place. You're trying to set the trim. They're going directly into the wind. But there it is. Lindenberg's got to that buoy. Lindenberg has just got round that first buoy with an absolute flyer. It is Lees on the outside. Mather's there too. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd, he's in there. But look at Lindenberg. The flying Lindenberg has got that boat set up so magnificently. He's really got the trim. He gets it around the NGK buoy. He got a good line. Ivico's Pat Lees it is. Then it's Mark Shepherd. Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd. The RS Components boat it is. In fourth spot of Ian Mather. Further, when we almost get it coming together between the Pennzoil and the Castrol boat of Terry Moore. Pennzoil it is. Pennzoil trying hard. But our man up front is Peter Lindenberg. Peter Lindenberg it is. Still leading that back. He's going around the pit buoy. We got Pennzoil's Mark Shepherd. Gets around that buoy as well. We see the rest of the pack come filing through. We spoke to Peter Lindenberg.
In the last heat, you actually had to adjust the up and down. You know, hydraulically we can adjust the motor in and out and up and down. And in the last heat was the only heat that I found that I really had to move the motor, keep moving it down, down, down. Because the water conditions were changing so much, the water was getting really rough. Up the back straight, it was bad. And I just thought, well, you know, I've got a comfortable lead, so I'm just going to drop the motor and just run it, you know, probably only maybe a second a lap slower, but a second a lap slower is a hell of a lot slower. And it seemed to work. But you've got to continue to adjust the trim, you know, for the conditions and for the wind. The wind here today changed. It changed a lot. I think we've had 3 direction changes in the day. And you've got to be ready for that. When you come out of the left-hander at the top of the back straight and head down towards NGK, in the last heat it was tricky. You could actually fly the boat there big time if you wanted to. I had a couple where I came out the turn, just picked it up and let it go for like 30, 40 yards. It just stood on its tail.
Terry Moore had his own problems on the water.
The conditions are very, very rough, especially when you ride behind 5 boats. It gets very, very difficult, especially in the corners. People's wake are from left and right, and you come into the corner so fast that you don't know the right line to take. So you actually say a bit of a prayer as you dump it to take the corner. It's very, very rough out there.
And the checkered flag is hung out there. It will be our man, Peter Lindenberg. The Flying Lindenberg will take this 3rd heat, and there are our results. Peter Lindenberg, Patrick Lees from Iveco, Mark Shepherd's Pennzoil, and Ian Mather.
Look, the last race was a bit tricky because the wind changed during the race and the water started to get really rough. But we decided on a couple of setup changes for the 2nd heat, which definitely worked. And that's when I got past Patrick in the traffic in the 2nd heat. And then I kind of thought that if I won the 2nd heat, that he wouldn't beat me to the 1st turn. But I think that the speed through the 1st turn is what did it. I mean, I really threw the boat through that 1st turn. And then I must have opened up 40 meters on him down that 2nd straight.
South African Grand Prix Series, Leg 1, Potchefstroom Championship point standings. Peter Lindenberg on 20, Pat Lees on 17, Mark Shepherd on 15, Ian Mather on 13, and Vernon Smith on 11. Our next event will be at Hartbeespoort Dam on the 26th, 27th of September. Make sure you're there. This program was brought to you by Twin Trailers for all your industrial or private trailer needs. Only on Supersport, your channel of champions. Produced by Unifilms for Powerboat Promotions International.